Hello everybody, Levi Clay here, and I'm back again to do another instructional videos that you must own. This time I'm going to talk about one of my all-time favourites. I mean, these are all favourites of mine, but this one was a massive influence on me, and it's probably one of the more unknown ones. It's called The Blues from Rock to Jazz by Don Mock. Now, what can I say about this instructional DVD that's going to make you want to run out and get it? Put quite simply, Don Mock is very different to all of the other guys that made REH, Alfred, instructional videos, in that Don Mock is an educator first, a teacher, somebody with a long history of education, and a player second. Now, of course, that's not to say that he can't play. The guy can play. But Don is one of the primary educators of the era. He influenced many of the educators that came after him. In fact, countless educators, as he was one of the first teachers at GIT in Hollywood. So his pedigree as a teacher is second to none. He's up there with guys like Howard Roberts. He is one of the best teachers that our instrument has ever known, and he's a fantastic player. So this DVD, it is only an hour long. It's an hour long video covering, as you would expect, the blues, and then it's called From Rock to Jazz, and there's not all that much rock covered in here. It's definitely how you would approach playing over a blues as somebody that has a bit of rock fusion and bebop interest in their playing. Now, for any of you that have listened to me soloing over a blues, or just playing around on the guitar, you'll probably hear that Don has actually been quite a big influence. The way Don plays is something that still really appeals to my ear. It's a sound that I really enjoy, and while again some of it is a little dated in terms of sounds, it's still, when he's playing the Strat, everything is fantastic. So why don't we take a look at the contents of this DVD so you know what you're getting. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff. Dominant 7 chords, lots of sub menus, lots and lots of chords in there. 11ths, 13ths, chord scales, solo and over dominant chord stuff, and using lots of pentatonic scales, arpeggios and substitutions, the way he does that, and click on more and you've got mixing vocabulary. You've got 8-note dominant scale, the bebop dominant scale, lots of cool stuff in here. Talking about secondary dominant chords, and then covering turnarounds, and finally you've got 12-bar blues solo stuff. There's a conclusion. Now, I can't stress this enough. Every single part of this DVD was a pleasure for me to study years ago when I picked this up. The things that jump out as still being things that I think about now when I'm working with students would be, there's a great section on chord scales where he harmonizes a dominant 7, a C mixolydian scale, with the melody note on top using chords. That's very cool. In fact, let's check that out.
Great. We'll call it a chord scale. We're going to play a scale with a chord underneath each one of these notes. Now, this is a C dominant scale. Could also be called F major, starting on C. We'll get just like a scale until you get the technique of it. And you could go into the next octave. And keep going up until we run into the same chords octave higher. Now, this is great for comping.
And there's some great licks on here when Don talks about the bebop dominant scale. There's a real cool lick that he plays and teaches, of course. I mean, he teaches a lot of cool licks. But in demonstrating this, you get a real idea of what sort of a player Don is. He's a monster picker. It's really quite impressive the way he plays. No patterns or anything like that. It's all, I need to pick this, therefore I alternate pick it, and I've got good over many years. Check this out.
This is kind of a bebop sounding line for a C7 chord using the 8-note dominant scale. It goes like this. Sounds a little boppy. Let me do it again. Now Now let's go through real slow so we can kind of analyze what's going on.
And Don teaches quite a few solos and concepts, outlining turnaround progressions and things like that, and then actually applies them over one of his tunes, blues that Robin Ford taught to him. And that's a really great section to watch because he's improvising over the tune, but then he also plays these short solos that he's taught to you already, but up to speed, and just hearing the ferocity with which he plays those at is massively impressive. It was a huge eye-opener for me because to my ears it has that ferocious bebop saxophone phrasing to it. This is absolutely nuts when you think about it, because although a tune like this is inspired by someone like Robin Ford, you don't hear Robin playing like this. This sounds like Charlie Parker just going for it, and I think that's absolutely awesome. So if you want to learn to play like Don, this is one of the ones. If you want to play great, this is one of the ones that you really should check this one out. It's an underrated gem. I really like this one, and I'm sure you will too. If you want to check this one out, you can find a link below, which will take you to this product on Amazon. I have an affiliate account, so you purchase it and I'll make, I don't know, maybe $1, and that's great. That's helps this channel keep going. Also, what I'm going to be doing now in my Patreon group, in fact, let's bring my wonderful supporters over on Patreon up. What I'm going to be doing in the coming months in Patreon is picking an instructional video like the Scott Henderson one or the Don Mock one maybe next month, and we are going to go through the content in more detail. We're going to break it down. We're going to start to understand and get the information that's not present, though in Don's DVD all the information is very well laid out because he's a great teacher. The other aspect that I've actually not mentioned, and I should point out, is you did notice that on screen everything is presented in notation only, but there is a 64-page downloadable PDF that's on the disc, and that contains everything but updated with tablature. So if you're not a notation reader, everything is there in a way that you would want in order to learn it. Guys, I cannot recommend this one enough. You have to check it out. And let me know your comments. If you own it, if you've seen it, if you would like to see it, all of that good stuff, drop it in the comments below and hit that like button. You can also check me out on Patreon by clicking that button up there. As I say, you can join the credits list for as little as $10, or even for $1 you get access to my patron-only Facebook group. Click that button to subscribe to me and check out 2 more of my videos there. I'm sure you're going to love the content. Peace out, guys. Pleasure to serve, and I'll be back soon. Bye.